Here's what I made from scratch this week to save money, reduce preservatives, and lower waste in 1 hour. A short staple restock today. I made a huge batch of my veggie noodle soup from my cookbook from scratch. This is basically my take on chicken noodle soup without the chicken. It's great to have in the freezer on cold days or days when you're sick. After letting the soup sit for about 15 minutes after cooking, the pastina absorbs the rest of the veggie broth, so I made these concentrate cubes. When I go to reheat, I'll add veggie broth with 1 cube for the perfect amount of soup for 2 people. So this giant batch made 8 more meals for the freezer, taking up half the space. And also I don't have a big enough pot. I also shot up some cheddar cheese blend using our KitchenAid mixer, and then I added some cornstarch to the blend to help the cheese not stick together. And then we were out of brown sugar in the pantry, so I used my mixer to whisk the white sugar and molasses for about 15 minutes in the mixer. Scrape it down once and then let it do its thing. This will last months in an airtight jar, and it's plastic free. I also meal prepped 1.5 cups of dry rice, which made 3 cups for this week's lunches. As long as you don't let the rice cool for very long on the countertop and it gets into the fridge quickly, you can meal prep it just fine. And for this week's sweet treat, I made blondies, which are so underrated and so good. And that's it. A pretty low-key restock this week. I'm thinking of writing a second cookbook. Since my book came out in May of last year, I've come up with so many new recipes for restocking and some new seasoning mixes. So if I were to do that, let me know what recipes you want to see. That's all for this week. See you next week.